Okay, so moving on to segment 13. This is a relatively easy part compared to some of the earlier ones. And as I said at the start of part 12, I strongly considered just skipping out this save here in Metroid Quarantine B. But the reason I didn't is this, because a Mega Pirate, basically, he can be a lot faster if you have a power bomb going into his final stage. And the only way to have 2 power bombs before the fight itself, because I need to use one at the start as well, is to get an extra one from somewhere between Central Dynamo and Metroid Quarantine B. No, not Metroid Quarantine B, because you can get one during the battle as well. But basically I would either need to get a power bomb from a Metroid in Metroid Quarantine A, a crate in Metroid Quarantine B, which I did here, or a trooper during the battle. Now getting power bomb from each of those, or even from one of them, if you try all of them, is very low probability. I would say about 1 in 10 chance. So if you combine that with having to not make any mistakes in the segment as well, it's just an absurdly low chance to be able to record a good segment, and it would take me a much longer time. It'd probably take me weeks, and I don't want to do that, and I'm sure nobody wants me to wait that long. And so really, the save is worth it. It takes about 12 seconds to save. It wastes about 12, but Omega Pirate is about 7 or 8 seconds faster with an extra power bomb, and with the save I'm also able to slightly more optimize each of the two parts. So it's pretty much worth doing. And I mean, it would be nice to skip it and just have one longer segment, but you know, it would be nice to not save at all and just do a single segment run with no mistakes. So you know, you have to just decide that you need to save sometimes, because you just can't record without making mistakes for such a long time and manipulating random things like that. Anyway, to the part itself, with having defeated a Mega Pirate to pick up the Phazon suit, I can now walk in Phazon without taking damage. So now I have to backtrack through Fungal Hall B to get an artifact of Newborn. And I do a sort of modified dash jump off that Fission Metroid there to get through the room a bit faster. Modified because you hold on to L for longer. Normally you would immediately release L, but you can hold on to it here to sort of spin around the Metroid a bit, because it's not in a good position for a normal dash. But if you spin around it with the first jump, you can then use the second one to have a sort of dash effect and go through the room a bit faster. So there I just pick up the artifact, and I was able to place the bombs. The bombs don't have to be right up against the obstacles. You can place them a few steps back, which is useful. And now I just have to go through Fungal Hall B again, the other way this time. The Fission Metroids are a huge pain in here, because they just bumble around you stupidly and knock you off ledges and the mushrooms and latch onto you, and that would mean I would have to reset, definitely, because if a Metroid just latches onto you, you have to morph and lay a bomb to make it go away. That one there is nice though, because it's very well placed for a nice dash jump straight over the Phazon pit there. It saves a nice bunch of time. So now again, going back to Elite Quarters, previously contained a Mega Pirate, now just contains more Metroids. And at the top of this elevator here, I actually discovered a dash that can be done by locking onto one of the Fission Metroids on the low level, and you can dash straight over to the door here. But I decided it was a little too annoying and difficult to put in, because the Fission Metroid at the top just kept on latching onto me like it did there, kept on ruining my attempts, so in the end I just boosted over. Probably only would have saved a couple of seconds. And you see there, I decided to kill the Metroid. I also pick up another power bomb, fortunately, but I decided to kill the Metroid instead of the turret. Usually you would decide to kill the turret there. I mean, that's what I've seen everybody else do, but I just got so annoyed with that Metroid. It kept on ruining my attempts. It kept on knocking me off the structure and knocking me away while I was jumping up on those other parts at the bottom. So I decided it was actually more of a problem of the turret in the end, and I decided to kill it. I mean, I didn't actually kill it. What I did was hit it with a plasma shot, causes it to stall, and it just falls down into the Phazon, and then the second it comes in contact with the Phazon, it just explodes and ceases to be a problem. So now we are back in Magmore Caverns, almost at the end of this part now. What I'm doing is using Magmore Caverns to go to Fendrana Drifts again. I need to go out to Fendrana's Edge for an artifact, and it requires a power bomb to get it, so that's why I needed to pick up yet another one at the end there. So yes, fortunately I can continue on and go to this save. And yeah, that is the end of this segment.